Welcome to the channel, everybody. A few months ago, I done a video where I took this square standard with a 2-point trim and redone it, refinished the body, stripped it down, refinished it, added some Wilkinson tuners, kind of changed it up, fixed it up a little bit, and in the process of that, I put on this Wilkinson trim, and it's a VS52K is what it says, WVS52K. So I've had nothing, you really hadn't had the guitar out, hadn't done a lot with it, been in the rack, really hadn't had a chance to really play it a whole lot, do anything much with it. So I got it out, here recently to play it, and the top strings were really down tuned bad. So I got to looking, and the post is bent. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to pull the strings and go in here and see what happened with it, why this post is bent on this thing. So that's something you're interested in seeing something about, just we'll get right into it. Okay, I've got this thing turned up, trying to show the best I can this post right here. You can see how it's leaning forward, and it don't really show up so much in the camera, but it's it's leaning forward quite a bit. So we're gonna have to get in here and see what's going on with it. And it's got to be one of two things, actually. Either the post itself is bent, or the wood has come loose around the insert. And we're going to see which way that goes. We're going to see what it's, but the guitar hasn't been dropped, hadn't been damaged in any way. Like I said, once I put it together, I put it on the rack, and pretty much, that's been where it's been the whole time. I hadn't had a chance to really do much with it. Had a lot of other stuff I had to do, so it's kind of not been played, but it hadn't been dropped, nothing's hit it, hadn't been damaged anyway. So whatever happened to it, it happened to it right there. And I hate to cut a practically brand new set of strings, but I'm not trying to fool with these things. We're just going to get right on into this thing. Okay, let's see if I can get this to where you can see when I take these springs out, and this thing should basically just fall off. And there's the problem. Just what I was afraid of, is that this is broke. This piece here has come loose and let this hole, see how it moves back and forth. So if you go back and watch the video where I installed this, and like I say, it's been about 4 months ago, maybe 4 or 5 videos ago. It'll be under Wilkinson you know, VS50, whatever, with the video title. When I put this in, I had to put bigger inserts in than came with it. And I don't know where I put, I had a set of old inserts, and that's not them. I've got a set somewhere, a set of the old inserts I started to use because I had to drill this out bigger. And that worried me then that that's what was wrong. And I bet I can almost pull this out by hand. Yep. See how easy that came out? But I had to put these bigger inserts in. And I wasn't happy about that because you value that wood. And when you have to drill that wood out, see, that bigger insert didn't help anything. That didn't help at all. So now I'm stuck with a blowed out hole, and it's probably broke plumb through. Let's see if I can get this pick guard off and see if we can see what it looks like under it. Okay, I got the screws out. See if we can get this thing to come out. Oh yeah, we definitely have problems. Let's see if I can scoot this over. I don't know what everybody else says in other parts of the country, but in the South, we scoot it. We scoot it over. But see, that whole thing is broke. It busted that whole piece right there out. So, I've got some choices to make on this. I can try to glue this back, which, you know, I mean, that's the only choice I have. And I'm looking at this one over here. This one looks good. And I can't tell. There's a body seam. I'm trying to look at the pieces. There's a body seam up through here. One piece right here. Another piece that goes up through there. So it don't look like there was a body seam right here, you know, where the two pieces were glued. And I know a lot of people don't like the plywood bodies, but it's been my experience actually that like a Korean square or something that has a plywood body is actually stronger because you have the different plies that are turned different ways and layers of them, where you have a grain in a regular wood. And I'm not sure what type of wood this is. It was a square standard body. So, you know, and it hadn't been over tightened. It hadn't been over, you know, I hadn't tried to make do no Floyd Rose stuff with it. I mean, there's been no abuse. It was just, and I'm not saying that drilling this out necessarily caused it, but it made it as long as it did with the other inserts without any problem. There was no sign of any kind of breakage or cracking or anything at all when I put this together. So it being finished, and I really like the finish, you know, I can actually try to take this out and re-glue it back in place and try to put this insert back in. Or really the only option I'd have outside of that would be to re-glue it, pull this insert out, put two dowels in and try to stain them as close to this as I could, and then just put a regular 6-point bridge on it, a 6-screw bridge. So I'm not saying it, it may just been bad wood, and it was on the base side where you have the most tension. So if you're looking at buying one of these Wilkinson trims for the 2-point, I would highly suggest using your original inserts. If they're in there and they're not cracked, anything, the reason I use these is I actually think I couldn't find the ones, as I can't now, I couldn't find the original ones, but they were black. And the threads were different. They're a different size thread. But, I first thought, just looking at it, that maybe this part here had broke and I was going to, or bent, and I was going to start fussing about, craftsmanship on Wilkinson's part. But apparently, now something about this bridge that I don't like, and I'll try to get these strings out of the way before I lose an eye. The only problem I had with this was the tools that came with it were really low grade. But, and I don't know that any of that's going to show, and I'm trying to see if that's dust or just if that's pitting. No, it looks like it's just dust. So, it looks still like, this part's all good. This wasn't, the only problem I had with it was, like I say, the little Allen keys that came with it were very soft, very poor quality. So, so I guess it's up to decision time, but, it really works good. It has a good action to it. You can really get your intonation dead on with this. String height, it's not a, it's a little more trouble, really, in a way than the traditional. But once it's set, it's there. It's not going to move. It's not got a spring that's just, a saddle that's going to stick, whatever. This thing's really not a bad piece of kit, but apparently my wood wasn't that good. And, it's a shame because I've put a lot of time into stripping this body down, and, I hate to have to start all over with it. But I guess what I'll try to do, and this video was just to get into it to see what had went on, but I guess I'll, at some point, kind of decide what I'm going to do with this. I may try to glue it back, but the glue will be stronger. I can put tight bond in there, get that pushed back in, get it all like it's supposed to be in there tight. And it'll actually it should be stronger if I can get this part to lay down. It should be stronger than it was originally. But that piece there will come out, but I don't want to mess around with it till I get ready because I don't want to break it, chip it any worse. So I guess I'll try to glue this back, put the insert back in, and hope for the best. But, that's always one of those things you worry about once it happens. Once, is this one going to do the same thing, So I just didn't like the idea of using the bigger insert. Now, I have an insert. This came out of a, let me try to think. I believe this came out of a Epiphone, the Strat, like the 310S Epiphone, I believe is what this came out of. But you can see the difference in the size. Look how much more wood, if you can see that, is how much more, let me move this down a little closer. But so you can see the amount of wood I had to remove, the difference in the size. And this didn't help anything. This being bigger didn't help anything. So if I had used something this size, I would have probably, there's a good chance I would have never had that problem. And like I say, if you go back and look at that video, I really complained a lot about having to drill that out bigger because I was afraid of something like this. So anyway, that's that with that. Okay, like I say, it's decision time on that project. The other thing I've been working on, building this other parts guitar. I think the last couple of videos I've done, building a guitar from parts. I have got the bridge in for it. It's a GFS brass bridge, so we're going to be putting it on. And I got some the Earl Slick tuners that have the brass knobs on them. Look like pretty decent tuners. Got a sheet of pick guard material. I've got the pickup for it, so anyway, it's going to be going to get to working on it. I got my neck angle, I think, is correct to use with that type bridge. Has to be a little steeper than say the bridge I was going to use was, you know, like this hardtail Strat style kind of bridge. So I decided that if I'm going to go to all this trouble, I want to make it a little nicer. So I got that bridge. So I've got everything I need. I just got to get time to get it started. But that'll be videos coming up. So that's about all I've got. Appreciate everybody subscribing. If you hadn't subscribed, you know, I would like for you to, if you feel like that my videos are informational, educational, maybe a little bit entertaining. I'm not out to be a full-time YouTuber, and I don't want a channel where I'm just trying to sell you some kind of product. I'd like to kind of show you some of the stuff that I do like this and what I get into. And I'm just glad that, I'm not glad this happened, but I'm just glad it was my guitar, not a customer's guitar, because they would have been highly upset, and there's nothing it just happened. I mean, it's just what it is. So, but anyway, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you thought it was a waste of your time, give it a thumbs down, and everybody stay safe out there until the next time. See you.